What if I told you that every time someone watches porn, something is actually happening inside the brain? Not just emotionally, not just spiritually, but physically. The brain is literally being trained and rewired, and the reason many people struggle to quit is not simply because they lack discipline. The real issue is that their brain has learned to crave something unnatural. But here is the encouraging truth. If the brain can be rewired in the wrong direction, it can also be rewired back toward freedom. To understand this, we have to start with how the brain works. But before we proceed, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. There are many who need to watch this and gain freedom. All right, let's continue. Now, the human brain runs on a reward system, and one of the most important chemicals involved in this system is dopamine. Dopamine is released whenever the brain experiences something pleasurable or rewarding. It is what motivates people to repeat behaviors that feel good. Normally, dopamine is released during things like eating, achieving a goal, exercising, or forming meaningful relationships. But porn overstimulates this system. When someone watches porn, the brain releases extremely high levels of dopamine, much higher than what normal life experiences usually produce. Because of this constant flood of stimulation, the brain starts to adapt. The brain begins to lower its sensitivity to dopamine. In simple terms, the brain becomes numb. This is why over time, many people notice that normal things stop feeling exciting. Real relationships may start to feel less interesting. Motivation drops, focus becomes weaker, and yet the urge to go back to porn becomes stronger. This is what psychologists call desensitization. At that point, the person may not even watch it because they truly enjoy it anymore. They watch it because their brain has been conditioned to expect it. That is why so many people say something like this: I do not even want to watch it anymore, but I still keep going back to it. The brain has learned the pattern. But there is another layer to this that many people do not talk about. Porn is often not just about pleasure. It is often about escape. Psychologically, many people run to it when they feel lonely, bored, stressed, rejected, or emotionally drained. The brain learns a dangerous association. Whenever discomfort appears, this becomes the quick relief. Over time, the brain forms a habit loop. Discomfort appears, the brain searches for relief, and porn becomes the fastest escape. That is why simply telling someone to stop often does not work. If the deeper emotional triggers are still there, the brain will keep looking for the same outlet. So how can this pattern be reversed? The first step is to starve the stimulus. The brain cannot heal if it continues receiving the same stimulation over and over again. This means removing triggers as much as possible. It may involve changing the type of content someone follows online, adjusting daily routines, or creating boundaries with technology. Many people try to fight addiction while constantly exposing themselves to the same temptations. But freedom often requires changing the environment that feeds the habit. The second step is replacing the dopamine source. The brain does not like emptiness. If unhealthy stimulation disappears but nothing replaces it, the brain will naturally try to return to the old pattern. This is why healthy dopamine sources are important. Exercise, learning new skills, pursuing meaningful work, building real relationships, and developing strong goals can slowly retrain the brain to respond to healthier rewards. Over time, the brain begins to reset. The third step is learning to tolerate discomfort. When someone stops consuming porn, the brain often reacts strongly at first. There may be urges, restlessness, strong cravings, or emotional swings. Many people think this means they are failing. In reality, it often means the brain is adjusting. Those feelings are part of withdrawal from the overstimulation the brain had become used to. If someone can stay consistent during that uncomfortable period, the brain gradually starts to regain its balance. But there is another dimension to this battle that goes beyond psychology and brain science. There is also a spiritual dimension. Throughout history, many spiritual traditions have taught that human beings live in a tension between the desires of the flesh and the higher calling of the spirit. The flesh seeks immediate gratification. It wants pleasure without discipline and reward without restraint. But the spirit seeks mastery. When someone begins to strengthen their inner life through prayer, reflection, purpose, and self-control, something begins to change inside them. Their identity shifts. instead of seeing themselves as someone trapped by impulse. And they begin to see themselves as someone capable of self-governance. True freedom is not just about removing a behavior, it is about becoming a different person internally. A person who guards their mind, a person who values clarity, a person who refuses to let temporary urges control their future. So if someone feels trapped in this cycle, it is important to understand something. This does not mean they are weak, it means their brain has been trained. And what has been trained can be retrained. The brain can recover, the mind can regain clarity, and the desires that once controlled someone can slowly lose their power. But it begins with one decision, a decision to stop feeding the pattern and start building a new one. And over time, that decision can lead to something many people thought was impossible: freedom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. Also, click on the notification button for more updates.